The last 30 seconds before you close your front door can shape the next 8 hours of your dog's life. Most owners have no idea this is happening. They say goodbye, offer one final stroke, promise they'll be back soon. And they genuinely believe this is kind. But your dog doesn't understand the promise. They understand your tension, your hesitation, the emotional charge in your voice. And if that is the last thing you leave behind, your dog may spend the next 8 hours in a state of low-level alert, waiting, unable to fully rest, unable to fully settle. Not because they're dramatic, because their nervous system was never told this was ordinary. There are 5 things you can do differently. None of them take more than a minute. And by the time you finish this video, leaving your dog alone is going to feel completely different. Stop saying goodbye 20 minutes before you leave. You know you're leaving for work at 8. So at 7:40, you sit on the floor with your dog. You stroke them. You use that voice, the soft, high one, the one that tells them you love them, telling them you'll be back soon. From your side, this is love. From your dog's side, something completely different is happening. You are raising their heart rate. You're increasing their expectation of engagement and connection. You're bringing their entire nervous system to a peak. And then you stand up, pick up your bag, and walk out the door. You've revved the engine, put a brick on the accelerator, and jumped out of the moving vehicle. The golden rule is this: your departure must be a non-event. 20 minutes before you leave, the active engagement stops. Not coldly, you're not ignoring them, but you stop initiating contact. You move around the house calmly. You pack your bag. You put on your shoes. You let their nervous system return to baseline. While you're still there, by the time you actually leave, they're already bored of watching you. That is exactly where you want them. Stay with us, because the next one is counterintuitive. And what it does at a biological level, most owners have never considered. And if this is already changing something, subscribe to Through Dog Eyes. We're here every week. Leave something that smells like you. Dogs don't perceive time by watching a clock. They perceive time through the decay of scent. When you leave, your scent slowly fades from the air. As its concentration drops, what that looks like in your dog's behavior is rising anxiety. Because their scent clock is telling them you've been gone for a long time. The house starts to feel empty in a way that is measurable to them. You can work with this. 30 seconds before you leave, take a piece of clothing you've worn recently, a t-shirt, a jumper, something that holds a dense concentration of your scent. Don't just throw it on their bed. Hold it in your hands and physically rub it gently over your dog's back and shoulders. Then place it in their sleeping area. 2 things happen. You're grounding them with a fresh, concentrated deposit of your scent, one that acts as a physiological anchor. And because that scent is so concentrated, it decays much slower than your ambient scent in the room. Their scent clock reads your absence as shorter than it actually is. You left an hour ago, but the shirt on their bed still smells like you were just there. To them, in the only way their biology measures time, you almost were. Scatter their food before you walk out. Most owners hand their dog a treat at the door when they leave. A goodbye gift, a peace offering. Watch what happens. The dog takes it, eats it in 1 second, and then looks up at you. Now they're focused on you at the exact moment you're trying to create a non-event departure. There's a biological truth worth understanding here. A dog cannot be in a state of foraging and a state of panic at the same time. They are neurologically incompatible. Panic activates the fight or flight system. Foraging activates the calm, focused, seeking system. When your dog's nose goes down to the ground, their cortisol drops and dopamine rises. Instead of the hand-delivered treat, Scatter a handful of high-value food across the floor or into a snuffle mat. Do this without saying a word. The moment their nose goes down, their brain switches into seeking mode. By the time they find the last piece, you're already gone. The transition from your presence to your absence happened while they were in a state of biological satisfaction, not anticipation, not alert, satisfied. Your dog doesn't need a dramatic farewell. They don't need apologies or promises. They need the emotional temperature of the house to be low before you leave. Everything else is for you, not for them. Say the same boring thing every time you leave. There is something worse than a dramatic goodbye. And most owners don't know they're doing it. Sneaking out while the dog is distracted. You think you're avoiding the guilt of the departure. What you're actually teaching your dog is that you can vanish without warning at any moment. So they stop sleeping deeply when you're home. They start monitoring you constantly, just in case you disappear again. The anxiety is now woven into your presence, not just your absence. You need to tell your dog you're leaving, but you need to tell them in a language that carries no emotion. Pick a phrase. Watch the house. I'm heading out. Back soon. The specific words don't matter at all. What matters is that you use exactly the same phrase every single time, delivered in a completely flat, monotone voice. No eye contact, no physical touch. Then scatter the food. Say the phrase, walk out. Over weeks and months, that phrase becomes a reliable predictor, not of loss or abandonment, of an ordinary departure that always ends the same way. With you coming back, the uncertainty disappears, and uncertainty is where anxiety lives. Come home like it's the most ordinary thing in the world. You've been gone for 8 hours. You open the door. Your dog loses their mind, and you drop to your knees and throw a party. You think you're rewarding them for waiting. Here's what you're actually doing. If your return is a level 10 emotional high, your absence becomes a level 10 emotional low by comparison. You've just taught your dog that being alone is unbearable, and being with you is euphoria. That contrast is the engine of severe separation anxiety. When you walk through the door, be the most boring thing in the room. No eye contact, no talking, no touching. Take off your coat. Put your keys away. Walk to the kitchen. Let your dog realize that your arrival is completely unremarkable. Let their energy come down on its own. Once their 4 paws are on the floor, and their tail is doing a soft, easy sway instead of a frantic wag, then and only then, call them over quietly and greet them calmly. The way you come home trains how your dog feels when you leave. A calm return teaches them that your absence was ordinary, that the world held, that you came back the same way you always come back. That's the only thing they needed to know. 5 things. None of them dramatic, none of them expensive. Stop the guilty goodbye 20 minutes early. Leave something that smells like you. Scatter the food as you go. Say the same boring phrase every single time. Come home quietly. That's the whole routine. Most owners spend years wondering why their dog can't settle when they leave, without realizing that they are the ones setting the alarm. The emotional temperature of your departure is something your dog carries for hours. You have the ability to lower it in 30 seconds. That is not a small thing. That is the difference between a dog who waits and a dog who worries. 5 steps, 30 seconds. The difference between a dog who waits and a dog who worries. What do you say to your dog before you leave? Tell us in the comments. We read every single one. Subscribe to Through Dog Eyes and hit the bell. Every week, we go deeper into what your dog is actually living. They deserve to be understood. So do you.